Question number 10. Solve the radical equation and be sure to check all solutions to eliminate extraneous solutions. So in this equation, we have two radicals. And so our goal is to first isolate one of them, remove the radical, and then we're going to remove another radical. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate the first one here, which is the square root of 3x plus 9 on the left side of the equation. And then we're going to subtract x, the square root of x plus 4 to the other side. So we're going to end up with 1 minus the square root of x plus 4. Now the next step is we want to square both sides. So we're going to square the left side, and then we're going to square the right side. Now, when we square the left side, we get rid of the radical and we end up with 3x plus 9. Now, on the right side, we need to then recognize that this is in the form of a minus b squared. And that, in turn, gives us a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And so what we have to recognize here is that the value of a in this form is equal to 1, and the value of b is equal to the square root of x plus 4. So now we're going to plug those into the perfect square trinomial. So the value of a is 1, and we're going to square that, minus 2 times the value of a, which is 1, times the value of b, which is the square root of x plus 4, plus we're going to take the value of b, which is the square root of x plus 4, and then we're going to square that. Now when we square the 1, we get 1 minus 2 times 1, which is 2, times the square root of x plus 4, plus when we square the radical here, we end up with x plus 4. Okay, so we have one term, there's our second term, there's our third term, and there's our fourth term. So we're going to combine like terms. So the first term we're going to write here is negative 2 times the square root of x plus 4. And then it's going to be plus x. And then we're going to combine the 1 and the 4. So 1 plus 4 is going to give us 5. So now over here we're going to write negative 2 times the square root of x plus 4 plus x plus 5. Now the next step is we're going to bring all the terms to the left side of the equation that we can bring. So we're going to subtract the x, and then we're going to subtract 5 to both sides of the equation. So we end up with 2x plus 4, and that's going to equal negative 2 times the square root of x plus 4. Now on the left side, the nice thing that we can see here is that we have a 2 that we can factor out. And the reason why we want to factor out that 2 is because we also have this 2 on the right side that we can simplify with the 2 on the left side. And what I mean by that is, since we factored out the 2, we can divide both sides by positive 2. And so what we end up getting now is x plus 2, which is equal to negative 2 divided by 2, which gives you negative 1 times the square root of x plus 4. And now we're going to repeat the step again by getting rid of this radical by squaring both sides of the equation. So we're going to square the left side, and then we're going to square the right side. And so when we square x plus 2, that's going to give us x squared plus 4x plus 4. When we square the right side, when you square a negative, it's going to turn into a positive, so we know that that's going to be gone. And then squaring the radical is going to leave us with x plus 4. So now we're going to set this equal to 0. So we're going to subtract x to both sides. We're going to subtract 4 to both sides. So we end up with x squared plus 3x, and that's going to equal 0. So now we're going to factor out an x, and what's left is x plus 3, which is equal to 0. So we have x, which is equal to 0, or x plus 3, which is equal to 0. So therefore, x is going to equal -3. Okay, so now we need to check to make sure that both of our solutions work. So going back to the original, we had the square root of 3x plus 9 plus the square root of x plus 4, and that was equal to 1. So let's plug in 0. So if we plug in 0, this becomes 3 times 0 plus 9 plus 0 plus 4 equals 1. Well, we end up getting the square root of 9 plus the square root of 4 to see if that equals 1. Well, this gives us 3 plus 2, and 5 does not equal 1. So far, we could say that x equals 0 is an extraneous solution. So now let's try and check when x is equal to -3. So we have the square root again of 3x plus 9 plus the square root of x plus 4. We want to see if that's going to equal 1. So we have 3 times -3 plus 9 plus square root of -3 plus 4. Well, this gives us -9 plus 9 plus the square root of -3 plus 4 gives you 1. So this is the square root of 0 plus the square root of 1. Well, the square root of 0 is 0. Square root of 1 is 1. And 0 plus 1 is 1. So therefore that checks. So therefore the only solution to this problem is x is equal to -3.